TV.
Welcome to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I'm your host, Jackie Hermans. So the weather has been getting colder. Oh my goodness. And with that cold weather can also come some treacherous roads, right? Don't you find as soon as the cold weather hits, people forget how to drive? So today on the show, we're going to be talking to CAA about winter tires. When is the right time to get that on, and why we need to start paying attention to those roads and stopping sooner. We're also going to be talking to comedian, ventriloquist, that's a hard thing to say, Jeff Dunham. And we'll be talking to Nicole Scott about the gray hair movement, the gorgeous gray movement. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Closed captioning is brought to you in part by Raven Reads. Unbox Indigenous voices. Subscribe today at ravenreads.org.
When it comes to drugs, how much freedom is too much for kids?
Drugs are out there. Will my teen feel free to say no around other kids?
I didn't live drug-free when I was younger. Can I admit that to my kids?
Drugs worry me, but how can I feel free to talk about it with my kids?
Questions about drugs and kids? Drug-Free Kids Canada.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Van Bilson, host of Photos and Travel, where we bring the world to your doorstep. In our next episode, we'll visit northern Italy, where we'll explore the wine region as well as the beautiful countryside, including picturesque Lake Garda, right here on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So our next guest is an actor, a stand-up comedian, and a ventriloquist. And he has been on many TV shows, including The Late Night Show with David Letterman. He's been on The Tonight Show, many more. And it is so exciting because Jeff Dunham is not only here, but he's also coming to Oshawa. So Jeff, welcome to the show. So I understand you are coming to Oshawa in November. Tell me, what are you excited about being able to come back to Oshawa?
You know what's funny is the Canadian audiences have always been unbelievably great. And you know what's crazy? This is just a small thing. I don't pay much attention to it. But for some reason, you guys buy a lot of merchandise. And I don't understand why. I mean, that's part of my business. It's not what I focus on. But every time we do a show in Canada, the guys come back and go, man, they bought a lot of stuff. I'm like, oh, that's great. Why not? So I don't know. Maybe I'm looking forward to being able to do a lot of the jokes up there that are very centric to Canadian things. I don't know, just joking about, I don't know, some of the sports and hockey and stuff like that. It's just like, they're so passionate. You guys are so passionate about hockey. And what's the, gosh darn it, the place where everybody goes for, the sporting goods place I always make fun of. Canadian Tire. No, it's Canadian. I make a joke about going to Canadian Tire too much of the time. Never mind. These are stupid answers. I'm moving on.
So, Jeff, what got you into ventriloquism in the first place? By the way, that was tough to say.
I was in the third grade and I just saw a dummy at the toy store, and it was a couple months, maybe a month before Christmas. And I was just going through the toy store, saying things to my mom, and with this, like every kid does. And I picked up the ventriloquist dummy off the shelf and ran over and said, look at this, I like this. She's like, yeah, put it back. And I never thought anything else about it. And then that Christmas morning, sure enough, Santa Claus had brought me that ventriloquist dummy, and that was the beginning. I got a little book from the bookstore, from the library, which I never returned, by the way. I still have it to this day. And we did a show in Dallas. That's where I grew up. And years later, went to the Dallas Public, had a representative from the Dallas Public Library come to my show, big arena show, 10,000 people there. And we figured out what the fine would have been, 50 years later, had I paid it. And I gave him that and then added a zero to it. And so it gave the public library a big old donation. And it was kind of, but I kept the book.
So on America's Got Talent, Canada's Got Talent, we've been seeing more and more people trying ventriloquism. For the young people out there that are starting, do you have any advice for them?
Well, ventriloquism has been around as a form of entertainment for decades, a couple hundred years, if not longer. And I just think anything that's entertaining is worth pursuing. I mean, if it's, I don't care if it's ventriloquism or if it's whatever it is, just some oddball thing somebody does. If you can entertain an audience and if you can make them laugh, then I say go for it. And ventriloquism is very easy to learn to do. It seems hard, but it's a skill that anyone can acquire or can learn. And the difficult part is being funny. And so there's nothing worse than an unfunny ventriloquist. So my advice to anybody wanting to pursue ventriloquism as a serious hobby or as a profession is, sure, learn the art, learn the skills of ventriloquism, but then also don't forget that almost more importantly is the fact that you have to be an entertainer and be funny. And if you can do both of those things, then you got something.
So Jeff, you're coming to Oshawa November the 16th. What should fans expect to get from your show?
I have characters that people have grown to know and understand and hopefully love, and those will be in the show. But then I also have a brand new guy in the show that people ask me, how do I create the characters? How do I come up with them? And I just respond to whatever's going on in society, in the world, and try and create something that people can identify with and laugh with or at. And most of us are stuck on our smartphones, our smart devices too much of the time. And then there's also a big generation gap right now between the older folks and the younger folks, and so many differences right now. And that's always fun to joke about. So I created a guy that's a lot younger than me. And he's also stuck on his smartphone too much of the time. And I kind of pat myself on the back. I actually created him so when I'm talking to him, he actually bends over and leans down and is typing. You can see his thumbs moving on his smartphone. And created him during the pandemic, and he's in the show. He's been going over really well. And we actually had a naming contest from the fans, and some guy came up with the perfect name. He named him Earl, but it's spelled URL.
Well, that is a clever name. So you are coming back for a rescheduled show. So what is exciting you about getting to come back to all the way to Oshawa?
I think the good part about coming now versus March is I don't know the weather up there, but I'm guessing it's going to be a little warmer now. And, having grown up in Texas and now living in Southern California, I'm a weather wuss. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to coming up there when I can actually walk outside and not, fall over and freeze to death with my wimpiness. I don't know. You know what I do love when I go to places that are not where I'm from? I love enjoying the cuisine and seeing what's different up there. Should I have poutine?
Definitely.
Okay. I'm looking for some delicious poutine. I should have it on stage. Sometimes I have somebody that works at the arena that's from there. I will have them bring whatever the local dish is from the best place that serves it, bring it on stage, and then I'll have the local drink, so in Canada, be whatever the best Canadian beer is. So I'll have a beer and the poutine and toast the crowd and have a bite. I think I should do that.
Now, right down the street from the Tribute Community Center is a poutineer place. It's called Smokes Poutineery, something like that. And you can get poutine the works. So yeah, you should definitely be going.
Well, there you go. All right. If people know it and love it, then they should bring some. We'll have somebody go get it, and we'll do it on stage. That'd be awesome.
All right, Jeff. So before we wrap things up, is there anything that you want to say to your fans across Durham, to your fans across Ontario?
Well, just come on out and have fun. You know, that political correctness stuff is a bunch of garbage. I kind of don't care. You know, there's certain things that we, of course, shouldn't joke about anymore. We've learned a lot about each other. But when it comes to the politics, especially American politics, I know what you guys do. You get your beer, you sit down on the couch, you turn on our news and laugh your butts off at us. I understand. So, yeah, just come on out and be sure you understand. I will make fun of our own politics, and you're welcome to come and laugh.
Thanks so much, Jeff. So that was Jeff Dunham. What a pleasure to be able to interview Jeff on the show. We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Some kind of Canadian joke, sir? I mean, I know you're the instructor and everything, but we can't carry the ball. How can we get a decent shot at the peach basket?
All right. Maybe we can allow a carry of a couple of steps.
And Mr. Naismith, sir, it sure slows things down having to climb up here every time.
Well, then let's cut the bottom out of the basket.
Ah, but I need these baskets back.
100 years after James Naismith from Almont, Ontario invented it, basketball was being played by hundreds of millions of people around the world.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. I have Nadia Matos from CAA, South Central Ontario, and we're talking about winter tires. Hi, Nadia. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Jackie. Thanks for having me.
So I understand CAA uses some type of formula in order to determine when's the best time to get those winter tires on. Do you want to explain that?
Sure, Jackie. It's not just CAA, but an industry standard that when the temperature reaches about 7 degrees or below, that's the optimal time to change your all-season tires into your winter tires. And the reason why is because there's a compound in winter tires called silica that helps to grip the roads. And so we want to make sure that we time it correctly so that the winter tires and the science behind the winter tires are actually working for us. So we recommend a set of 4 matching winter tires, and that is for stability. So as soon as you start to see a solid week of 7 degrees or below, that's when you say, okay, need to make an appointment with my mechanic to check my winter tires and replace them, and also to check your car battery, because it's around that time that we start to see car batteries also start to go. So it's a great time that you're already going into the mechanic to change your winter tires. Also check your car battery.
Okay, now in regards to replacing tires, what is the best way if you don't have a tool to figure out if your winter tires need to be replaced? What's the best way to figure that out on your own?
Well, there is treads on the winter tires that you can take a look at. We've seen all sorts of kind of like tips that if you put a quarter in the tread and you can't see the face of the queen, then, or if you can see the face of the queen, then it's time to get your tread fixed. But really, I mean, I wouldn't want to put my hands in the life of a quarter. So I would say, you know, taking a look, inspecting your winter tires and speaking to your mechanic and say, like, can these last another winter? And he or she will say, yeah, you maybe get one winter, but that's pretty much it. So all sorts of tips and tricks out there on the internet, but the best thing is to go to someone who deals with winter tires on a consistent basis and can give you that professional advice.
Okay, so I am a CAA member, and I hope you don't mind me throwing this out there, but I'm wondering, does CAA offer any discounts or deals on getting winter tires anywhere.
Well, Jackie, what we do have is a mobile tire change option for members, and it's very competitive to many other places. But the convenience is that CAA comes to you and changes your winter tires. So you know that if you go to lots of places, sometimes you're asked to actually wait in the wait room. It's difficult to make appointments. There's long lineups. And in this case, you just call CAA and book a mobile tire swap. And if you're a CAA member, it's a very affordable price, depending on what province you're in. It kind of fluctuates, but that is an option for people as we go into the winter tire season and the winter season that you can get your winter tires on.
Now, what would happen if I ordered a winter tire swap and then the CAA professional looks and they're like, oh, okay, these tires are no longer good for the road anymore? What would happen? Do you still pay for that service and then you bring them back as soon as you have new tires? How does that work?
We would look at probably rescheduling an appointment with you, because safety is key. And so we want to make sure that your safety is paramount and that, you get an opportunity to put on proper winter tires.
Okay, that's fabulous. So what is the weather looking like over the next couple of weeks? So what is your prediction about getting those tires on?
Well, usually the first week of November is when we start to see temperatures consistently go below 7 degrees Celsius. So that is a really good time to start to make your appointments to your mechanics. Of course, we live in Canada and weather unites us, and it's also super fluctuating. We are seeing colder days and colder nights. And so we are starting to go towards that season where it's time to start thinking about changing your winter tires and getting you and your vehicle ready for the winter season.
Okay. Well, I think it's time to start making those appointments sooner rather than later, because I remember last year it was really tough to get an appointment. And, waiting till even December or January in getting those snow tires on. So it's time.
Not ideal, really, in the month of October. Let's start to clean out that car from all the summer and fall gunk and prepare your car for the winter months, because the winter is very harsh, the weather fluctuates, and you want to make sure that you're as safe as possible.
Okay, fabulous. So do you recommend the winter tires way more than all seasons with where we live?
Well, definitely winter tires are appropriate for the winter months. And again, that's because of the silica compound that we mentioned. And so it's not an either or, but it's both. They are appropriate for different seasons at different times. So winter tires, again, are just going to give you that extra stability and traction. And sometimes in the winter months, if you brake, you need those extra couple of feet to be able to brake properly. And so if those winter tires are going to give you that extra grip and stability so that you're able to, drive safely on the road, that's great. But it also comes down to driver behavior, Jackie. You want to make sure that if you see snow, you're going slow, give people plenty of time to, merge, to brake space, and really make sure that we're being courteous as much as possible, because the winter months can be very, very stressful. Lots of snow and fluctuating temperatures and weather conditions. And so we want to be kind and courteous as much as possible on the roads as well.
Beautiful. Nadia, thank you so much. It was wonderful to have you on the show. We'll be back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Hey, I'm Chef Corey Dern, host of a show on Rogers TV Georgina called Cooking with Corey. Join me bi-weekly for brand new episodes where I teach you not only what to cook, but how to cook. On this show, we have cooked almost everything. Things like Japanese udon noodles with tofu, chicken on the rocks, zucchini fritters, and even grilled cheese. There's only one thing missing, and that's smell-o-vision. That's Cooking with Corey, right here on Rogers TV Georgina.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. With me now on the show is Nicole Scott and obviously Chewy back here, who all of a sudden wants my attention. Nicole is a nutritionist. She's an author. She's a speaker. She's a podcaster. What doesn't she do? And Nicole, it's so great to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thanks, Jackie. It's great to be here.
So we are talking about the gray hair movement. You have written a book. You have started an amazing podcast. And your book is called The Gorgeous Gray Movement. Mm-hmm. And so is your podcast, right? The Gorgeous Gray Podcast.
Yeah.
So, Nicole, tell me about this. Tell me about this movement. Tell me about what inspired you to go this route. I know this is a big open-ended question, but let's just kick it off there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you were to ask me even like 5 years ago, if I would be gray in my early 50s, I would call you crazy. There's no way that I would let my gray come through. Even though it started to show up in my 20s, I've been hiding it for over 20 years. But Jackie, it was a health scare. It was a moment in time where the doctor found lumps in my breasts and I had to wait a week for the results. And in that week, as a holistic nutritionist, I went back to the books to say, what am I missing? Where in my lifestyle that I will be bringing toxins in that I maybe am not paying attention to? And the one thing that was showing up for me loud and clear was my every 3 weeks black hair dye that I was putting on my head. And it just stopped me in my tracks. And I went, that's it. I'm done. Whether I have, the C word diagnosed or not, I was making a decision in that moment to say, I got to do everything that it takes to make sure that I don't get the diagnosis for myself, for my kids, and I want to be around a long time.
Beautiful. And you know what? Gray looks gorgeous on you.
Thank
you.
It
really does. Now, this is something that has come up for me as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And, I've asked myself that question, could I let myself go gray? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I am not at that point. Wow. I am so not there. But having you made that decision, I think it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of confidence and also determination. And that's how I see you as a person. You're determined to be the healthiest you can be. You're determined to be the most successful that you can be. Yeah. So I am so excited that you've written a book to help to inspire other women. And now you're also inspiring through your podcast.
Yeah.
So now I understand there's been a recent finding that has come out into the media about some hair care products that have cancer-causing agents in them. Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, that just came out yesterday in the news that Health Canada has pulled over 1 million products off of the shelf because of a cancer-causing ingredient called benzoline. And it has been known for a very long time that that particular ingredient is related to cancer. And I write about this in my book. I dug deep to, go, what is in our, not even just our hair products, but our beauty products, and even, dig deep to our food products, is that there are just way too many ingredients in our stuff today that we are not paying attention to. And it is a lot of dangerous ingredients are still linked to cancer, and they're still in our products today. So, Health Canada is, slowly making their journey to pulling and making a difference. But to me, it's not fast enough. There are definitely countries like Europe that are much more forward thinking and have, a naughty list of like 1,800 products that are ingredients that aren't in products. But in Canada, we've got a list of about 500. We're doing much better than the US. In the US, they have maybe a list of about 20 ingredients that they avoid. So we're kind of in the middle between Europe and the US, but we still have a long ways to go of cleaning up our products. So I just like to empower women and families, you know, if you are running the household and purchasing products, is be smart and understand your ingredient list, because we don't want those dangerous chemicals in our body and have to eventually, you know, come up with a diagnosis that maybe could have been prevented from, you know, lifestyle choices.
So if women want to be inspired and listen to your podcast, how do they find it?
Yeah, so if they go to Spotify or Apple, or they can even go to my website, NicoleScott.ca, I have a whole section on podcast, and they can, you know, click on it and Google, like search the Gorgeous Gray podcast, and they can start to listen to these great conversations. It's all about having real conversations with women about this, you know, thing we call aging and menopause, right? I'm 51 and just celebrated my 1 year of no period. And that we call is now I'm in postmenopausal. So I just had my, as I call it, my menopausal birthday. And for a lot of women, they suffer in menopause. And I want to have that conversation so we can talk about it so that women don't have to suffer. And there is hope and choice for us out there with a lot of great health professionals that really care and really understand what to do with us crazy menopausal women.
Well, I'm in perimenopause, so I'll be listening to your podcast. Nicole, thank you so much. It was so wonderful to have you on the show. So if you want to get in contact with Nicole, you can check out her website, NicoleScott.ca. Thanks so much, Nicole. We'll be right back with more on Uxbridge Scugog Life.
Thanks, Jackie.
We can be hurt. We can be bruised. We can be broken. Slowed down, confused, and even numbed. But we can't be defeated. We're built on a foundation that's strong. Our mission, unwavering. And together we'll beat as one.
Hi, I'm Constable Darrell Rice, Durham Regional Police Service. Tune into Rogers Cable 10 to watch me on Seniors Talk with DRPS, where we'll talk about all kinds of amazing information and community programs for you, our seniors in Durham Region.
Hi, I'm Sean Lackey, and this is Sold with Sean Lackey. You should check us out if you want to find out what's going on in the world of real estate. We'll have all sorts of guests to keep you in the loop on what's going on in this wonderful world.
Welcome back to Uxbridge Scugog Life. So everybody, Jeff Dunham, get your tickets. So he's performing at the Tribute Community Center on November the 16th. Give yourself plenty of time to slow down, okay? Get those winter tires on and remember to get your battery checked. And if you want to find out more about the Gorgeous Gray movement, you can contact Nicole Scott at NicoleScott.ca. You can pick up her book on Amazon. You can also check out her podcast. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to be on the show, you can send us an email, uxbridgescugoglife@rci.rogers.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next week.
Call the Rogers TV viewer response line, email us, or connect with us on social media.
My name is Matthew Rutledge. I'm a 60 scoop survivor, born in Red Lake. Was adopted from there to Toronto at the age of 4. A lot of our brothers and sisters, family members got separated from each other. That was the government's goal, to break that connection from brothers and sisters. Basically taking the Indian out of the child. Right now, they're still trying to find themselves. Originally, my birth name is Harvey Halverson. In my high school days, teens,